Nearly $1 trillion in credit card balances. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what to do with your money. Savings account is the worst idea that you could be doing right now in these uncertain times. Let's dive in. Okay, so I hooked you with the saving your money is the worst idea. Don't worry, we're gonna close that loop in this video. Just give me some time here to set the context. So first things first is US debt is sitting at $986 billion as of the beginning of this year, as we see right here. And if we look at this on a chart, we can compare it to COVID times and we see that, yeah, we're at all-time highs. This is concerning. This data is a little bit delayed. It was published January 27th, 2023. So this number is probably a little bit higher. Matt Schultz, the chief credit analyst at LendingTree, says, unfortunately, credit card debt is likely to only keep rising in the near future. Yeah, no kidding. What do we got going on here right now? Well, we got two things. We got a double-ended sword. We got inflation, which has consistently been going up, and we got high interest rates. So let's talk this through. When you get high amounts of inflation, it's a result of printing too much money. And the reason why it is so dangerous is because it's rapidly devaluing your money. So every single dollar that I've got in my pocket becomes less and less valuable every single day. You've seen this. You go to the store now, how much is eggs? You go to the store now, how much is chicken? How much is your favorite energy drink? How much is your Starbucks coffee? Now, some of these areas, you're not feeling it as bad as others, right? Eggs went up massively. And what's interesting is that we're looking at the CPI model, which I don't even know what it's at right now, 7%, 8%, something like that. But that's the current CPI model. You realize that the same CPI model, if we looked at that data from the 1980s, puts us 12 to 15% interest rate. So the number doesn't matter, but it's a high amount of interest, okay? So we're getting bled dry and we're getting penalized. Savers are getting penalized from trying to keep their money because inflation is so high. We're devaluing our money. So it leads us to having to make more and more aggressive steps, right? And then on the other end, we've got interest rates. As interest rates go up, what happens? Well, it becomes harder to service our debt. As a person, as a household, as a business, as a country, it becomes harder to service that debt, okay? So interest rates go up, we pay more in interest, okay? So these two things are completely destroying and choking out middle-class America, and low-income earners are in real rough shape right now, okay? So we need to start making a better plan, first off, which we'll get into in just a second. But I want to point out, you really need to audit where you're getting your information from, okay? Because if we look at something like CNBC is like harmless, you know, they're a good source of data for most people. But I'll tell you what, these 5 ways to tackle high-interest credit card debt are crap, are utter crap. And you gotta really watch because some of this stuff is borderline dangerous. And if you're following these steps, if you're following this advice, you're gonna get wrecked. Okay, in uncertain times, let's talk about this for a second. Most people contract, right? They stop looking at expansion. They stop thinking about opening up other locations. They stop thinking about starting that new side hustle. They stop, all these things, all this business growth ideas, they stop. I'm not gonna go to this convention. I'm not gonna go to this event. I'm not gonna pay this guy $3,000, this guy $5,000, whatever it is, right? To advance my knowledge. I contract because I think that the best way to do and the best solution right now is to just sit on my money and do nothing. Well, I'm here to tell you that especially in an environment like this, you're gonna lose and you're gonna lose big. Whether you're trying to make huge moves and come out the other side looking like a 100 millionaire and a winner, or you're just trying to make it through this, it doesn't matter. You have to play this game differently. And the worst way to play it would be to sit and do nothing, okay? It's just the way it is because your money is being devalued so much. There's calculators on the internet. Like if you were to just search, I think like value calculator or dollar value calculator, something like that, you'll see the rapid deterioration of $1 across 20 years and what it's worth. And we've all seen the graphic, maybe I'll insert it, of, what's the dollar value, and it's like way down here at like 5 cents in terms of what a dollar is actually worth. Well, it's because they printed $4+ trillion over the last 3 years. When that happens, your money becomes less valuable. And remember, how they always roll out the money is it's always rolled out to the banks first. So the banks get the inflation. The inflation works positively for the banks when they're the first ones at the top of the slope, that then they let out the floodgates and push all the money out into the public. The guy who's getting the short end of the stick on inflation is the last guy to get the dollar. It's like a game of hot potato, okay? So anyways, let's go through these 5 ideas that they got for you, these 5 ways to tackle high interest credit card debt, and I'm gonna give you mine, okay? And it's gonna be way better than this, so stay tuned to the end. First, reassess your spending. Yep, no kidding. Look, if you're going out spending a $6 Starbucks every day, you're going out to the bars over the weekend because you're miserable, you're spending more money on alcohol or legal marijuana or whatever your gig is, right? You probably need to reassess that, okay? That's probably a horrible idea. And it's not leading to the outcome you want. So drowning yourself in substance, trust me, I played this game. I've gone down the rabbit holes of addiction. It doesn't pay off the way you think it is. And so the longer you keep turning a blind eye to that, and the longer you keep allowing yourself to do that, the bigger hole you're gonna have to climb out of. So at some point, you gotta draw the line and just be like, brother, what am I doing here? Do I wanna climb out of this hole now, or do I wanna keep digging myself, right? So that's that. Next is plan a payoff strategy. The better my planning, the better my result. The better my planning, the better my result. So we got a plan, first off. And then secondly is the way that we got to look at this is, we need to start chopping away at cards, balances, something like that. We need to start cutting where we can. You know, this is just like basic management strategy. We need to start cutting where we can, and then obviously looking at ways that we can expand, looking at creative ways that we can kind of, hide or diminish our credit, and then expand. One of the easiest ways to do that is we got to get, the biggest mistake people make is they've got 90% of their credit card funding on their personal. We got to get into business. We have to get into business, okay? It's going to cost money to do that. It's going to take time to set it up, especially if you can't personal guarantor or PG on these cards. Yes, that's all going to take much longer. 6, 12 months could take, right? But the point is that is a safety net. That is a piece of foundation. And this is what we need to be doing right now. We need to be building out a foundation. Okay, more on this in just a second. But yes, the issue is that most people are sitting in all personal. The load is on personal. So when I fall behind on my payments, when my planning doesn't work, when I become too swarmed with the monthly payments, then I start to default, and then who is affected? Me. Then I have to go bankrupt and I have to rebuild my personal credit. I've done this. It's horrible. It sucks. You have to move this stuff out onto business. We have to do this and get aggressive about it now, right? If you haven't already. 3, snag a zero balance transfer credit card. Yes, cool, okay. But what's our plan when the 0% balance transfer window ends? Right? So what is it? 12 months, 15 months. Discover's always running a 12 or 15 month. Elon Financial's always running, 0% interest. There's a couple credit unions that got some programs running right now too. Anyway, my point is that what's our plan after that? Are we going to roll it into another 0% card? Are we going to try and do a personal loan? Well, we better make sure that we're at least playing this through to the conclusion now and figuring out where we need to be with our personal credit and stuff like that. Between now and then, we can't default on anything. We can't let anything slip. No lates, no nothing. Okay, cool. Well, as long as we know that, then we can plan for that, right? And again, it'd be way better to get zero balance cards on the business side. Ask for a lower credit card rate. Yes, this is true. But if you're sitting at 30, 50, 70% utilization on that card, do you think the bank is going to cut your rate? No, not at all. Do you think that they're going to give you honor 0% for as a retention offer if you're sitting at 85% utilization on your card, which some of these people are? No. They're not. And then the last, the creme de la creme, their pinnacle of solutions here for us is take advantage of high yield savings accounts. Yeah, that's 3 to 4%. That's going to get us there. If this worked and everybody put their money in high yield savings accounts, do you think that we would have the class and social issues that we have right now with low income earners, middle income earners, and high income earners? Do you think there would be such a large discrepancy if the magical sauce was just a high yield savings account? Come on, dude. So, this is dangerous because this is crap. This is not setting you up for success. This is actually setting you up for failure. It's in the same way that a Jim Cramer, Fast Money TV, all these people are designed to help separate you from your money. Their job is to be a greater fool and to get on TV and look professional and look like, Jim Cramer's always rolling up his sleeves because, he's a middle class earner just like you, even though he's worth over $10 million. He's going to work for you. Okay. So you got to audit where you're getting this information. So what's a better strategy here? Well, we got all these vehicles out here. Here's the cool part. This is fun. This should be fun because this is a giant game. We got CDs, we got I-bonds, we got high yield savings accounts, we got real estate, we got Roth IRAs and IRAs, we got family plans, estate plans, we got tax structure, we got trusts, we got all kinds of wacky stuff that we can get into. And I don't know where to take this because I don't know what your situation is. So I'm just kind of speaking in general. Understand that it's all going to be based on your stack. Your needs, what you already got set up, what you're trying to do. These are just the tools and vehicles that are on the board. You use those how you see fit, right? And you're probably going to want to talk to a financial planner of some sort, not an idiot, but somebody who's really, really well versed in this sort of thing, because that's going to give you a better result. But our foundation should be like estate plans and family plans and, life insurance policies. And by the way, that's a vehicle that the rich use constantly is they draw out loans against a certain sort of life insurance policy to get low interest loans that they can then go and allocate into real estate, allocate into acquiring actual assets. Okay. See the game? So life insurance policies, things like that. We need to be, allocating and maxing out towards our Roth IRA every single year because that helps from a tax standpoint, right? We need to have basic entities set up. We need to figure out our basic tax structure. All these things need to be figured out. That is our baseline, right? And yes, a little bit of money in some savings accounts, in some I-bonds, in CD ladders, all these things. That's the icing on the cake. Okay, but the meat and potatoes is that we need a money multiplier. Okay, so what we want to be doing is we want to go out there, we want to generate cash flow. right? We're generating cash flow from our job. We're generating cash flow from our side hustle, which, quick side note, the very first side hustle you should be setting up is your personal brand. It should be yourname.com, and you should have this set up, and it should be a resume of your life. And this is how we start to make money on the side. Okay? And so that should be the very first side hustle that you set up. But all of that is doing what? It should be generating cash flow. Then what we got to start doing is we got to start figuring out money multipliers. That's the second phase of this, okay? And we go through that phase and we generate hopefully a lot of money. But it's not going to happen from high yield savings accounts, guys. Like I said, that's the icing. That's the tick in the box. We're gonna have much larger success taking more risk into areas and learning new things like real estate. Like real estate is probably the down the middle answer I could give you there. Yes, there's other things involved, dividend stock portfolios, even getting into cryptocurrency and stuff like that, but down the middle, real estate. And so that's higher risk, but that's gonna give you higher percentage gains. And so that helps offset. So it's not like, we're relying 100% on our, $5,000 or $10,000 that we could put into a savings account, right? We've got all the things that are generating. So across the boards, we're actually beating inflation, or at least keeping up with it. All of that together starts to create the plan, starts to create the better future. But I can assure you that, like I said, to come all the way back full circle, if your strategy is to just sit on your money and put in like I said, a basic high yield savings account of 3-4%, that's your whole plan, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose big. I know for a lot of people that's scary to hear. I know for a lot of people they're trying to play it safe right now. They're just consumed by the weight of all this. They got issues in their personal life. We got political issues now. We got border issues now. If you're in America, you got all kinds of issues to now weigh out. I understand, I get it, okay? But we cannot sit on the sidelines to this. Not only is that how we lose, but we don't gain. And so we need to really draw a line in the sand and start to build out this foundation. The foundation is where everything starts, and then we add on top of that. So I've gone on for long enough. If you want more videos like this or me to deeper dive into this, just let me know and we'll shoot something and get into that. I did shoot the APY tier list, which I got into, some of these things and what you can expect from an ROI 7, 10, 15%, whatever. We did get into that video. That video didn't do well on the channel. If you guys got suggestions for the rest of the community, understand that there's a whole conversation that happens underneath this video. So comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'm hoping the best for you guys out there. I'm rooting for you. If I can help in any way, just let me know, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, you should subscribe. 60% of you are not subscribed yet, right there. Okay, bye.
Wild monkey.